From a young girl surrounded by politics to becoming one of the most powerful women in American history, Nancy Pelosi didn't just enter politics. She reshaped it, facing fierce opposition, historic battles, and moments that changed a nation. Her journey is one of power, persistence, and controversy. This is the untold story of Nancy Pelosi, the woman who stood at the center of American power for decades. Nancy Patricia Pelosi, born March 26, 1940, in Baltimore, Maryland, emerged from a deeply political Italian-American family into a life that would ultimately position her at the pinnacle of American legislative power, becoming not only one of the most influential figures in modern United States politics, but also the first woman in history to serve as Speaker of the House, a role she held with authority, resilience, and strategic precision across multiple terms, shaping policy, navigating crises, and redefining the boundaries of leadership in a political system long dominated by men. Her story begins in a household where politics was not merely a profession but a way of life, as her father, Thomas D'Alessandro Jr., served as both a U.S. congressman and the mayor of Baltimore, instilling in her from an early age a deep understanding of political organization, public service, and the intricate relationships that define governance, while her mother, Annunziata Lombardi, played a crucial role in managing the family's political network, teaching Pelosi the importance of grassroots connections, loyalty, and community engagement, lessons that would later become defining features of her leadership style. Growing up in this environment, Pelosi was exposed to campaign strategies, voter concerns, and the mechanics of power, often accompanying her father to political events and absorbing the rhythms of public life, experiences that quietly prepared her for a future she would not fully embrace until later in life. She attended Trinity College in Washington, D.C., where she studied political science and graduated in 1962, further sharpening her understanding of governance and policy, and it was during this time that she also interned for Senator Daniel Brewster, gaining firsthand exposure to federal legislative processes. Though her early adulthood was largely focused on family life after she married businessman Paul Pelosi, with whom she would have 5 children, balancing motherhood with a gradual re-entry into political activism through volunteer work and party organizing, particularly within the Democratic Party, where she began building a reputation as a highly effective fundraiser and strategist in California after relocating to San Francisco, a move that would prove pivotal in shaping her political identity. Throughout the 1970s and early 1980s, Pelosi steadily climbed the ranks of Democratic politics, serving as a member of the Democratic National Committee and becoming known for her ability to mobilize resources, connect with donors, and support candidates, skills that would later underpin her success in Congress, and her official entry into elected office came in 1987, when she won a special election to represent California's 5th congressional district, marking the beginning of a legislative career that would span decades and fundamentally influence American politics. In Congress, Pelosi quickly distinguished herself through her focus on social issues, human rights, and economic policies aimed at supporting working families, advocating for healthcare reform, environmental protections, and expanded social programs, while also demonstrating a keen ability to navigate the internal dynamics of the Democratic Party, building alliances and consolidating influence, which led to her election as House Minority Whip in 2002, making her the first woman to hold that position, and just a year later, in 2003, she became House Minority Leader, again breaking gender barriers and positioning herself as the leading Democratic voice in the House during a period marked by Republican dominance under President George W. Bush. Pelosi's leadership during this time was characterized by disciplined messaging, strategic opposition, and a focus on unifying her party, laying the groundwork for the Democratic victory in the 2006 midterm elections, which resulted in her historic election as Speaker of the House in 2007, making her the first woman in U.S. history to hold the position, a milestone that represented not only personal achievement but a significant moment in the broader struggle for gender equality in American politics. And during her first tenure as Speaker, Pelosi played a central role in advancing major legislative initiatives, most notably the passage of the Affordable Care Act under President Barack Obama, a landmark healthcare reform law that expanded coverage to millions of Americans, and remains one of the most consequential pieces of domestic policy in recent history, though it also became a focal point of intense political debate and opposition. Beyond healthcare, Pelosi's speakership was defined by her efforts to address the 2008 financial crisis, support economic recovery measures, and advocate for climate change legislation, while also navigating the complexities of foreign policy, including the Iraq War, which she had opposed, reflecting her broader commitment to diplomacy and multilateralism. However, her tenure was not without controversy, as critics accused her of partisanship and overreach, while supporters praised her as a skilled negotiator and effective leader, capable of managing a diverse and often fractious caucus. After Democrats lost the House majority in 2010, Pelosi returned to the role of minority leader, where she continued to shape party strategy and policy, maintaining her position as a central figure in American politics. And her resilience was again demonstrated when Democrats regained control of the House in 2018, leading to her second tenure as Speaker beginning in 2019, during which she presided over one of the most politically turbulent periods in modern U.S. history, including the presidency of Donald Trump, whom she famously clashed with on numerous occasions, culminating in her leadership of the House during 2 impeachment proceedings against Trump, making her a key figure in these historic events. Pelosi's approach during this period was marked by a careful balancing act between satisfying progressive demands within her party and maintaining broader political viability, demonstrating her pragmatic leadership style and deep understanding of legislative strategy. Her second speakership also coincided with the COVID-19 pandemic, during which she played a significant role in negotiating relief packages aimed at mitigating the economic and social impacts of the crisis, further solidifying her reputation as a powerful and effective legislator. Beyond her legislative achievements, Pelosi's influence extends to her role as a symbol of female empowerment in politics, breaking barriers and inspiring generations of women to pursue leadership positions, while also facing persistent scrutiny and criticism, often reflecting broader societal attitudes toward women in power. Yet she consistently demonstrated an ability to withstand political pressure, maintain discipline within her caucus, and achieve legislative victories in challenging circumstances. Her leadership style, often described as both pragmatic and strategic, emphasizes coalition building, negotiation, and a deep understanding of institutional processes, qualities that have enabled her to navigate complex political landscapes and achieve long-term goals, even in the face of significant opposition. In addition to her domestic political work, Pelosi has been an active participant in international diplomacy, representing the United States in meetings with global leaders and advocating for democratic values, human rights, and international cooperation, reinforcing her status as a prominent figure on the global stage. Throughout her career, Pelosi has received numerous awards and honors, recognizing her contributions to public service and her role in shaping modern American politics. And even as she stepped down from the speakership in 2023, she remained an influential figure within the Democratic Party, continuing to mentor younger leaders and contribute to policy discussions, ensuring that her legacy would endure beyond her time in formal leadership positions. Nancy Pelosi's life and career reflect a combination of ambition, resilience, and strategic acumen, illustrating how a woman who began her journey in the shadow of her father's political career rose to become one of the most powerful and consequential leaders in the history of the United States Congress, leaving behind a legacy defined by historic firsts, legislative achievements, and a lasting impact on the structure and direction of American governance. A legacy that continues to shape the political landscape and inspire future generations to pursue leadership, challenge barriers, and engage in the ongoing work of democracy.